At this time of year, getting out and about doesn't always seem very appealing. Yet we know that it's good for us to exercise, and it's calming to the soul to spend time in nature. These same benefits can be seen and even magnified in our children. So how do you combat the poor weather and maybe a little one's reluctance to walk very far in order to enjoy these benefits as a family? Here, I will include some ideas to help you to get the most from your time outside, to help your kids learn about the wonders of nature, and all that without lots of additional preparation time from you. Let's get into it. Firstly, consider your attitude to the weather and how you present this to the kids. If we always label the rain or snow as bad weather to the children and suggest that it means that we need to go back inside, then that is what they grow up believing. In fact, most weather is totally fine to be out in if you have the correct clothing. Welly boots, splash suits, waterproof trousers, coats, hats, gloves, scarves, even a snowsuit. It is important to note, always risk assess the conditions first. Take note of any weather forecasts and certainly any severe weather warnings. There are days that it's best to stay inside, and see our separate video of indoor activities for active kids in order to keep yourself sane. I'll link that in the description below. In the winter, many play areas are wet or muddy. Taking a towel to dry equipment or wearing waterproof clothing makes these accessible on many more winter days than without. Take cars to drive along the equipment or even race down the slides if it's too much for the children to climb up. The stark countryside of winter doesn't always seem very inviting either. But as you're already going to be waterproofed up for the weather, why not take the opportunity to investigate water more? Puddles are great for many sorts of play, or even a small stream if you properly consider the risks. Just make a quick risk assessment before you go near any water and stay well away from anything that's really fast flowing, because that can be very dangerous. My boys love to paddle in the little streams in their boots, exploring the way the water tumbles over the rocks, and using sticks to test the depth of the water. Finding a bridge over a river or stream and playing poo sticks is a great game that's only made better by the wet. If the water is flowing faster, this only makes the race more exciting for my kids. To play, you each need a stick that you can identify from each other's. Stand on the bridge and drop the stick in after a count of 3. Watch as the stick floats under the bridge and to the other side. Find out whose will emerge first. There's lots of learning here. First the counting to 3 to start the race, and then assigning first, second and third, etc. You can also talk about floating and sinking. The stick floats in the stream. Can you find anything else that will float? Can you find anything that sinks? Another way to examine floating and sinking outside is to use a puddle. I challenged my eldest here to make a boat that will float on the puddle, using whatever he could find. In this picture, he's testing his design in the puddle. It was a very challenging activity, but it really engaged him, and he spent a lot of time developing his problem-solving skills while testing and improving his design. Of course, there's always good old-fashioned puddle jumping. Ask your kid if they can jump in and out of the puddle. Can they jump over the puddle? Can they run through the puddle? How big a splash can they make? There's also more nature to be spotted in winter than you might think. Yes, the trees are bare, there are no flowers, there are few bugs to be found, but there's still a lot out there. This is a really great time to spot birds. With the trees bare, it's harder for them to hide from you. And also they're out more hunting for food, which can be hard to find at this time of year. So you can easily attract them if you offer some seeds or other appropriate snacks. Remember though, things like bread are not the best thing for birds to eat, so instead opt for something a bit more natural like seeds or peas. That they work well for ducks. A top tip from me would be to take some binoculars with you. As we spotted a bird, the boys will quickly try and train their binoculars on it. Kids' binoculars can be picked up relatively cheaply, and we get lots of use out of ours. But if you don't wish to buy any, or if you think your kids are a little bit too heavy-handed, they're too young to treat them properly, you could try making your own out of cardboard tubes. They won't actually magnify the birds, but I find that having a simple prop like this seems to magically make the boys even more intrepid explorers and focus more on the nature. A top tip from me would be to take some binoculars with you. As we spotted a bird, as they look, encourage them to describe what they see. How big is the bird? What colour is it? Which part of the bird is that colour? This is a great way for the child to develop language and use appropriate vocabulary. You can also identify the bird by name. The Curious Kids 101 Garden Bird Nature Hunt Pack is great for this. It includes images of 9 common British birds that are found in parks and gardens. Find it in the Curious Kids 101 shop now. As they look, encourage them. I am also often asked about how far you can go on these trips. And my answer is, annoyingly, it depends. A quick Google of the question suggests that kids can generally be expected to walk around 1 kilometre for every year of their age, e.g. a 7-year-old can be expected to walk 7 kilometres, a 3-year-old can be expected to walk 3 kilometres, and so on. However, this is clearly just a gauge. It's important to start small and discover for yourself what your child can do and also what they enjoy doing. Try to have limited time pressures on your walks. Deviate a little, wander, be distracted by nature, talk, bond, and enjoy your time together. That's far more important than the distance you actually manage to cover. The more you do this, the easier it will be for you to measure appropriate distances that your kids can actually walk and the time that you have to do these in. Finally, a great motivator for walking with children, whatever the time of year, is a snack stop. So fill your bag with a simple snack, a flask of hot chocolate, or even hot dogs in a food flask with bread rolls. The perfect winter wilderness food stop. So don't see winter as a barrier for getting outside. Pick appropriate clothing, a few easy-to-gather items to take with you, and head out and enjoy learning and experiencing the great outdoors with your family. For more ideas and advice like this, please hit that subscribe button or follow Curious Kids 101 on other social media platforms. Until next time, keep inspiring learning. Bye-bye.